Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Let me just give you this short video on what a VPN is. If you're not familiar with VPNs in general, if you want to, send this video to somebody that is new to VPNs, well, this is basically what it is. A VPN is short for virtual private network. And what it does is it protects your online activities, but it doesn't do it in the way that you might think. So for example, if you log into your Twitter account and use a VPN, everybody's still going to know that it's your Twitter account, right? It doesn't matter if you're using a VPN or not. But where it can be helpful is, for example, if you're on a public Wi-Fi and somebody tries to intercept your connection, because when you're on public Wi-Fi, you're not necessarily secured, right? Anyone on the administrative side of things, so whoever administrated that network, could get their hands on your personal information if you're logged into their Wi-Fi without using a VPN. So that's typically what a VPN is used for. Now, a side effect of also protecting your information is changing your location, because you're using an IP address that is not yours. So let's just move this to the side here and go to the IP finder. You'll see that it says I'm in Washington, not because I'm physically there, but it's simply because I'm connected to the Washington server with ExpressVPN. This is the VPN that I typically like to use, by the way. And if you're interested in it and you want to check it out, maybe look at a review or follow along here, you can try it out yourself using the link in the description. It'll give you a little bit of a discount. But essentially, once you've connected to the location, the internet or the browser or your applications, at least most of them, will treat you as if you're coming from that location. So for example, if I connect to, let's just go to another US location in this case, right? Let's go to Americas, United States. Let's just say Atlanta. So if I connect to Atlanta and I refresh here, it'll show as if I'm in Atlanta. So for example, let's say there's a specific, college football match or something like that, and it's being streamed, but you're in that same state, right? So if you're in the same state, you're more likely to get blacked out so that you can go and watch the game yourself. In this case, you don't have to, because it can just be streaming in different states. So you can connect to a different state and watch the game instead of having to go watch it live if you don't want to watch it live. Now, another use, of course, is not just for avoiding sports blackouts. You can go to Netflix here. So let's just go to Netflix. I want to demonstrate something real quick. And this is one of the most common uses for a VPN. If I look up Friends here, the show that we all know and love, the sitcom, it's ironically enough an American show that's not available in America, right? So if you have a Netflix subscription and you realize that there are shows or movies that you thought you had access to are not available. So in this case, a VPN can just solve that very easily. I know that with the UK server, it's available there. So Friends is available there. Actually, let me show you a cool little trick, unogs.com. Again, I'm showing you this and I'm putting time into this because a lot of people use VPNs for streaming. So that's why I'm putting a little more emphasis on it, right? So if I look up Friends, and this is a website, by the way, that tells you which shows or movies are available in which countries so that you know where to connect. As you can tell, it's available in these locations, in these countries, but not the States. So again, in this case, I can just go ahead and go to Europe, go to UK, connect to London, for example, turn on Express. The moment I'm connected, just go back to Netflix. It's important that we hit the refresh button and it should show up right here. And if it doesn't, it's totally fine. Just turn off the VPN and turn it on again. Let me demonstrate that actually. It'll pick up a new IP address. Oh, actually, we're already connected to the London server. So let's just refresh it. I only want to demonstrate to you that if I disconnect here and connect again, the IP address will change. So every time you turn off the VPN and you turn it back on, it will always change, even if you're in the same country. So there we go. The two change. It's all the same, but instead of 236, it's 232. And so the reason I'm telling you that is because in case a specific service was not accessible or anything like that, it might be just because the IP address has been blacklisted because it's been used by multiple people. Because again, this is a service, ExpressVPN is a service that's used by thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people at the same time. So when platforms like Netflix recognize that there's a specific IP address that's being used at the same time, they might just blacklist it, for whatever. They have reasons, right? They have their own reasons. So just in case you're running into that, all you have to do is refresh it. But it's less likely to happen with Express. It might be more likely to happen with VPNs, for example, like NordVPN or Surfshark. I mean, these are all top VPNs. I prefer to use Express specifically because it's just incredibly easy to use. It's reliable. It's consistent. The best analogy for Express is, honestly, it's like if Apple created a VPN, it would be Express, right? It's not the most interesting look, right? It's basic, but it's reliable, it's consistent, it's secure, and it's high performing. Like, that's something that nobody can deny about Apple products, for example, and they're well built. And that's precisely what I would say about ExpressVPN. Well built. It's not meant to look very fancy with all kinds of bells and whistles. No, it's just supposed to get the job done and get out of here. You're not really supposed to be using the VPN for more than just a few seconds, where you just launch it, set up your location, and you're good to go. Go on about your day. Just click off of it and get out of there. So besides that, it's not just for streaming and security, but also for torrenting. So if you're into torrenting, if you didn't know, anybody that's downloading the same torrent will be able to see your IP address and your port and your location, and that's definitely not information that you want to expose about yourself. So whenever you're torrenting, it's best to use a VPN to make sure that nobody will be able to know what you're doing online. And yes, nobody will know what you're doing or downloading, including your internet service provider or your, whoever else that's trying to know what you're doing online. So hopefully now you know what is a VPN and what it's most used for. Again, it's made to protect your data and online activities while you're on public Wi-Fi, or while you're on unsecured networks, or if you're in a censorship-heavy country and you want to make sure nobody's able to know what you're doing online, with other safety precautions, of course, that you have to keep in mind, like not using your social media account and using the VPN and thinking that nobody will be able to access that. No, that's not how it works. But I think you know what I mean. If somebody tries to intercept your connection to get access to your data or device or whatever it is, they won't be able to do that. Not when you're using a good, reliable VPN like one of these VPNs. And just to continue the recap, they're also used for streaming. So if you're not able to access, let's say, HBO Max or Hulu or Disney Plus, a VPN like one of these three specifically. I've tested a lot of VPNs, by the way. That's why I've narrowed it down to just these three, but they all work really well. And finally, torrenting, which they all also work very well with. And now, as far as which one to go for, you can check out the reviews below, but if you don't feel like watching a video, go with Express if you're just looking for the overall best of the best. It's the most reliable and consistent in my experience. And go with Nord if you're looking for a whole bunch of features that can be incredibly useful in a handful of situations, like threat protection, which is like a mini antivirus, and my favorite way to transfer files between my devices now, which is MeshNet's file transfer feature. And it works by simply downloading NordVPN on your devices, turning on MeshNet and connecting, and then you can just kind of freely transfer files between your devices, and even between your friends. They can just download NordVPN, and then you guys will be able to freely share files. And it's just one way to share files very safely over the encrypted network of NordVPN. So yeah, Nord is filled with features like that, and they keep updating it. So yeah, it's always exciting having Nord, really, or having an update for Nord and seeing what new things they've added there. Now with Surfshark, this is the best budget VPN that gets the job done at the cheapest possible cost without really sacrificing much of the features that you get with more expensive VPNs. Not only that, you'll be able to secure virtually an unlimited number of devices with just one account. So practically, I mean, you can share it around with your friends and family with no limits, whereas with NordVPN, you're limited to 10 simultaneous connections and 8 with ExpressVPN. But that'll be it for me today. I'll leave all the useful links, whether you want to get any of these VPNs at a discount or you want to learn more about them. I'll leave those links below. And if you have any questions, feel free to also ask me in the comments. If you have any suggestions, if you have any, questions, or if you'd like me to review a specific VPN or some kind of service, feel free to drop it in the comments below and I'll do my best to get to it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.